Welcome to Tactical Tuesday. That's right, it is Tactical Tuesday. It is Tuesday, which means it's another chance for us to have a bite sized piece of value all about the tactics that you can be bringing into your business. My name is Russell Pearson. For those who don't know who the hell this guy is, that's me. And today I want to be talking about calls. So there is a large part of the eastern seaboard of Australia in lockdown. I am now in lockdown, and now I'm in curfew too, so I can't go out on the streets at night like I normally would. But it's a great opportunity, no matter where you are, whether it be in lockdown or not in lockdown, to actually give people a call. So today, I just want to remind you that this is a great opportunity to pick up the phone, whether it's a handheld device or whether it's actually still plugged into a wall with a weird cord. It is a great opportunity to pick up the phone and actually speak to people. But today, what I want to be talking about is the sort of three different types of phone calls that I would love you to be making, because these three different types of phone calls make sure that you've actually got sales opportunities and new clients coming into your business on the regular. Now, while I'm here, and as people are coming onto this call, I thought I'd chat about a few things that are upcoming. So if you're not across it, I would love you to check out russellpearsonprograms.com/rise hyphen above. That's a bit of a mouthful. Because I've got an event going next week. It's on Wednesday. It's an online event, so you can catch it wherever you are in the world, really, as long as you've got an internet connection. And I'm joining Peter Thurin and Dr. Amy Silver, as well as Warwick Merry, for a 90-minute session all about getting over overwhelm, getting out of the noise that we're actually all facing from media or whatever is going on around you, and how do we rise above that and start taking steps forward with our business. So it's the idea of moving from survive, where we're like we're just trying to get through the day, we're gnawing off our own legs, which is never a good thing, through to thriving, where we're actually continuing to build the business that we want, that ideally gives us that lifestyle we want. So if you are watching this, I'd love you to comment below and say, hello, Russell. We can have a little bit of a chat. But today we're going to be talking about sales calls. And actually, I picked this up to have a drink. So let's talk about sales calls today. And not just about sales calls, but the different types of calls that you can be making. There are three. So this is a great time, especially if you are not doing the commute, to be doing the first one of these calls, which is how you going? The how you going call. It's a great one to do a temperature check of what's going on in the market right now. So what I would tend to do is make sure you at least have one of these how you going calls or a check-in call every 90 days with your existing clients, with people that are potential prospects for your business, just checking in to see where they're at, because it'll help you know whether they're in a mode to be making decisions. Potentially opportunities just spring up inside these calls, but the main focus is it's a temperature check to say what is actually going on right now in the market. Now, that's the intention of it, but I tell you what, probably 1 in 10 of these calls turns into a sales opportunity. So even just having the calls on a regular basis, number one, it keeps people top of mind. Number two, keeps you top of mind for them. Number two is it enables you to actually check where they're currently at. Do the things that I offer actually help them solve problems they're experiencing right now? Or are they experiencing problems that maybe I can either refer to somebody else, which is always a great thing, or finally shift some of the offers that I've got to make it more relevant to where their head's at right now. So those check-in calls, the how's you going calls, are a great one to be having, and I'd try and have at least 10 of those a week if you possibly can, because it enables you to stay in touch with what the market is currently doing. So that's number one. The check-in calls, the how you going calls. I want to do at least one of those with every single person that I want to be working with every 90 days. Now, the second one is the priority call. Now, priority calls are actually got the original concept, the triage call, from Taki Moore, who is a fantastic coach. But I've changed it a little bit, made it the priority call. And really, it's about having a really quick chat, so it could be 10 minutes, off the back of something that someone said. So someone might have said, oh, I'm interested in that lead magnet you've got because it's actually useful in this area where I need help. Or someone could be saying, well, this is a thing I've got a problem with. In fact, I'm interested to know more about that. Whatever it might be, you're not 100% sure yet if you can help them. So you do this priority call to see, is now the time? Is there a priority right now to be actually designing a solution with this person? So those priority calls, I would be wanting at least 5 of those a week. So that you've got a regular pipeline of people coming through the business. Now, you could be having that call, you think you can help them, but during the call you discover that you can't. In fact, the problem is something else. Again, referring them out to people is a really useful thing for you to be doing. But it enables you not to force, this is one of the things I talk about a lot. Don't force the square peg into the round hole with these people. This is just a check-in. That you understand they've got a problem, you're taking them through a few steps, and I can show you how to do those steps when you join one of my programs, but the steps that you take them through enable you to identify very, very quickly, should I be having a follow-up conversation with this person, or is it just a good opportunity to check in and make sure that I put them back where they were so we can talk to them later. Because it's just, you should be working with people when they're ready to work with you. That doesn't mean that you don't work on your message, make it incredibly relevant to your audience, do all those different things. But if you actually find that the gap that they've got during one of those conversations is not a gap that you can help with, then it's better to refer them off to someone else or say, look, I'll speak to you another time. All right? So those priority calls is number 2. So number 1, the check-in calls, the how you going. You want to be doing those every week. You also want to be doing the priority calls, which is off the back of someone commenting on something or responding to something or putting their hands up because they wanted something that identifies that they might have a problem that you can solve. All right, so that's number 2. Number 3 is the sales calls. Now, the sales calls are where I hopefully, through the other calls, we've identified really, really clearly that we can help these people. Right? We know a way forward for them, and now we're just designing that way forward with them. And that's what the sales call is all about. So both of you know why you're on the call. There is an intention to actually get on this call to see if we can create a solution that ideally they would move ahead to pay for. And so there's different intentions for each of those calls. The check-in, it is literally just to check in. How are they going? What's going on? What's the temperature in the room or in the market? That's number 1. Number 2, those priority calls to see, is now the right time to be talking about the solutions that we provide professionally. All right, so that's a really good one to check in to see if it's worth having the sales conversation, because the sales conversation might be a little bit longer. Could be a 45-minute, maybe even an hour conversation, but you don't want to be having hours and hours and hours of conversations that aren't going anywhere. So the first one, check in, maybe it's a 5-minute call, maybe it's a 10-minute call. The triage or the priority call, you definitely don't want to make that more than sort of 10-15 minutes. And then finally into the sales call, well, that needs to be what it needs to be to design a solution that's going to work really, really well for the outcome that they're looking for. So these are just 3 different types of calls. Now, hopefully you're making these calls. If you're not, I would suggest starting to put these into your diary. How many check-ins are you going to be doing a week? How many priority calls are you actually generating? So are you doing enough stuff to understand when people have a problem? Because if you're not, maybe you need to do a little bit more work there. And then finally, how many sales calls are you having where you're actually talking about a specific solution for the outcome that they're looking to achieve? So those are the 3. This is a great time to be doing it. Whether you're in lockdown or not, at least half the country is feeling a little overwhelmed. They're feeling a little like there's a lot going on. All right. So checking in with these people and making sure you understand where their heads are at is massive when you're trying to engage people to work with them and ideally help them with the solutions that you provide. My name's Russell Pearson. You can always check out russellpearson.com, but why would you do that? Because you're here on Facebook. And if you are watching this somewhere else, if you're watching the Tactical Tuesdays maybe on YouTube, number 1, subscribe, because I want more subscribers over on YouTube. But you can actually find out where I do these things live on the Future Proof Business Group, which is over on Facebook. Hello to all the people on the Future Proof Business Group, and hello to you watching. It's great to have you join me. If you've got any questions about sales calls, about conversational selling, and ideally how you can make calls more intentional and work for you to actually get clients at the end of the day, then feel free to reach out. I'm always here to help. That's what the whole Future Proof Business Group is all about. So until next time, stay passionate, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now.